We have a major storm going on.
You like my hat?
I do like your hat.
Yes.
I love Maine too.
Yes. This hat was a gift from my Maine squeeze.
Oh. I thought you said you actually
I had to get one in.
You promised me.
Sorry, we got sidetracked. We're talking about desert fever.
Desert fever.
So what is desert fever?
Actually, or valley fever. It's called either one.
Okay. Give us a quick primer or primer.
So it's from what I gathered, it's like a it's caused by a fungus that lives in the soil. Okay. So when a dog goes out, and that's the freaky thing about it, because where it is, it can live down in the soil. Grass is cool; it can cover it, but there's nothing, or even like gravel, but there's nothing really to combat it. Okay. So yeah, it's it also affects llamas. So if your pet llama is out there, you're walking it, it might be a problem. So
what you're saying is there's a fungus among us. If you live in Arizona.
Yeah, we don't live in Arizona though, but they do.
Are you going to fire me from this gig if I keep punning away?
I can't. I'm numb.
Well, why did the mushroom, Linda G?
Oh, here we go. He promised.
One more.
Promised me.
One more. Why did the mushroom go to the party?
Why did the mushroom go to the party?
Because he was a fun guy. And why did the fun guy leave the party?
Why did the fun guy leave the party?
Because there wasn't much room.
So now that that's out of the way.
I'm addicted. I'm sorry. I apologize. I apologize.
Oh my God! You can't stop. Look at you. Let's talk about desert fever. That now, when I was looking into this valley fever, it affects humans.
Sure.
Cats, llamas.
Yes.
Dogs, horses,
yes.
some zoo animals, some
yes.
wild animals, and
right.
some non-human primates.
Okay.
What is it that, like, why now I don't see, for instance, like a rabbit in there?
Okay. Well, it's not a virus. First of all, viruses are tending to be species specific, and fungi are not. Fungi are organisms that are coming in spores, and they're going to land, and they're going to be inhaled by anybody who happens to stir them up and bring them into their body. Right. So it's sort of an equal opportunity offender. And bacteria is very similar if you think about it. I mean, bacteria is, if you cut yourself and you don't wash it, you're going to get bacteria in there. You're going to get an infection, just like your dog might. It's going to be very similar bacteria living in there. So anyway, I guess to answer your question, the thing about it is certain species are adapted to not get diseases that are regional. So if you're a rabbit and you've been living for centuries in Southwest Arizona, and that's where that disease is, you're going to adapt to not pick that disease up. Maybe you get, hey, look at the rabbit. See him? Hey, rabbit. I'm going to pet him.
That rabbit's not getting...
I got a rabbit over my shoulder.
That rabbit won't even get COVID.
This is great radio.
So, yeah.
Okay, so...
It's not happening.
Anyway, so just be careful. And what do they say to do to not have your pet get the desert fever for all you desert folk?
From what I was looking at today is that you should keep them inside as much as possible, which is kind of, I thought that was like a lame answer to that, because you want to bring your dog out, right? You want to bring your, that's part of the fun of having a dog, is going for a walk, bringing it for a walk, keeping both of you active, and getting some fitness in there too. But so I think really the answer is, if you want to bring your dog out, which is a good thing to do, bring them out, but don't put them out on, don't go into these grass covered places. Try to stay on a dog trail maybe, on a path, rather than going into woods where
don't stir up dust. Walk on pavement.
Right.
It's really hot in here. I saw a question from my brother. Why do cats knead? Yeah. Hey, did I ever tell you that I worked at a bakery?
You promised me. I should just walk out the door.
I worked at the bakery. Do you know why?
You needed the dough.
You know what? You stole my punchline. That's unforgivable.
Is it?
It is.
Sorry.
If you're a comedy partner with someone, you never ever steal their punchline.
I'm not a comedy partner. Oh my God, and neither are you.
This show is #comedy.
Okay.
So cats, why do they need? Well, it's really interesting. That's a great question there. Sean McNamara. That name sounds very familiar. So cats have in their paws, they actually have scent glands. And so when they scratch your couch and when they knead your leg, they're not doing it to give you a massage. They're not doing it to sharpen their claws. A little bit of that when they're scratching the couch, yes, true. But what they're actually doing is they're imprinting their scent
territorial
on the perimeter of their territory, right? So if they were outside, they would do it to a tree, right? And they would do it to all the trees in their perceived perimeter of their territory.
I do that, like when I go out.
So when your cat scouts,
so like nobody comes in my bubble.
Really?
No.
Let me see your nails. Your claws. So when your cat is kneading you, they're actually kind of saying, you belong to
mine.
me.
Yeah.
You were meant for me, and I was meant for you.
I get that a lot. I get that.
To quote a certain singer that I sang earlier.
Yeah, you did. Please don't do it again. Please don't do it again.
All right, did we miss any other questions? Anybody in the Facebook, in the station head chat have a question?
Let me see. I'm gonna scroll up again. Let's see.
Oh, don't they do that when they're sucking on their mother's feet?
On their what?
So when a kitten sucks on their mother's feet? Yeah, that's just a mistake. They're aiming for the mammary gland and they're getting the foot instead. I think that's all that is.
That's a weird kitten. That's what that is.
Well, they're blind. I mean, well, they're weird. They're blind. They're born blind.
They're blind, but they find it.
Oh, you're so critical.
No, they find it. That's why cats purr. That's why the mama purrs.
Yeah. Well, you know what's really interesting
babies
too.
Can find her.
Is there's scent glands in the mammary glands too that are comforting and help them to fall asleep. So when you're a cat or a dog, and maybe even a human, I've never heard this mentioned. When the baby is suckling and they successfully drink milk for a while, it's time to stop, right? It's time to, you had enough. So there's a pheromone that evolutionary is designed to make you fall asleep after you've had your fill.
Like turkey.
So you take in like tryptophan. Yeah. You take in the milk, but you also take in this pheromone. And in dogs, it's known as dog appeasing pheromone.
In dogs, it's called it never happens.
Yeah. Well, no, puppies nurse, and then they fall asleep. So the other puppy can get a chance to get on there.
But yeah, why do dogs though?
Ooh, I see another one.
Have that? You don't want my question?
No, you're not a listener.
Fine.
You don't get priority.
I listen. Okay, so why does a cat stick his paw in the water before drinking?
Well, that's really interesting because think about cats when they're living in the wild. Some cats do prefer moving water. And that's also evolutionary. Think about it. If the water is moving, what do you think as a instinctual beast you might think about the water? That it's cleaner. A stream is cleaner than a puddle. Would you want to drink out of a puddle?
No.
No. So that's when they're stirring up their water, they're wanting to have it be moving because their instinct is telling them it's better to drink if it's moving.
It's a weird thing. So what Ollie does, I never told you this, but right by so the water bowls, I have 2 water bowls, one next to each other, and they're kind of raised a little bit for them. And I always say that he's swimming. He scratches the floor as he drinks. It's probably the same thing. He's trying to make the water move. Right?
There you go. That is true. I just saw something very funny on Station Head. I misread maybe one day's text. It said, don't they do that when they're sucking on their mother's teat? And I read feet.
That's what I thought.
Teat.
That's why I said that's a weird kitten.
Feet, teat.
What's wrong with my kitten? Your kitten's weird. That's what I was trying to say.
Tweet. Birds don't have that. Birds tweet, but they do not teat. That's why they're not mammals. You have to be a mammal to have a mammary. Get it? Come on, Linda.
Isn't that a song from Cats?